A wee story for a very sweet wee person. Sylvie Ann was visiting her grandmummy in Connecticut. It was Halloween, and Sylvie wanted to make a pumpkin moonshine. So she put on her bonnet and started out for the cornfield to find the very finest and largest pumpkin. The cornfield was on top of the hill, quite away from the house, so Sylvie took Wiggy for company. The hill was very steep. It made Sylvie and Wiggy puff like steam engines. When they reached the field, Sylvie looked among the shocks of corn for the very fattest pumpkin. Way across from the field she found such a fine one. It was so very big, Sylvie couldn't lift it, so instead she rolled it across the field, just the way you roll big snowballs in wintertime. But when Sylvie and Wiggy and the pumpkin came to the edge of the field where the ground sloped down into the barnyard below, the pumpkin began running away. It leaped over stones and bushes, bumpity, bumpity, bump, faster, faster down the hill with Sylvie and Wiggy rushing after it. It frightened the goats. It terrified the hens. It enraged the geese as it tore into the barnyard at a truly dreadful speed. But worst of all, it bumped right into Mr. Himmelskamp, who was carrying a pail of whitewash. It didn't stop till it hit the side of the house, ker-thumpity bumpity thump. Sylvie Ann was a very polite little girl, so of course she helped Mr. Himmelskamp to his feet before going after the pumpkin. She apologized to the goats and poultry too. Then Sylvie went to her grandpop and told him what happened, so he came out and cut the top off that runaway pumpkin. Sylvie scooped all the seeds and pulp out. Then Grandpop made eyes and a nose and a big grinning mouth with horrid crooked teeth. It was evening by then, so they put a lighted candle inside the pumpkin to make him look as fierce and horrid as all true pumpkin moonshine should. Sylvie and Grandpop put the pumpkin moonshine on the front gate post. Then they hid in the bushes to watch how the terrified passers-by would be at the sight of this fierce pumpkin moonshine. They had a wonderful time. Sylvie Ann saved the pumpkin seeds. Next spring, she planted them. The vines grew up and ran all over the cornfield with lots of pumpkins on them, just waiting to be made into pumpkin pies and pumpkin moonshines to please good little girls like Sylvie Ann. The end.